So, Snoop Dogg. You're a fan of the dog, man, aren't you there, Nick?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I liked some of his music.
yeah, so he made some controversy, made some waves recently there. Is facing a little bit of backlash here over his recent comments there about a Disney film. He was, and I believe the Disney film was Lightyear that he was talking about there. And he was just talking about there. Says Snoop Dogg faces backlash for rant about scene involving same-sex couple in Disney film, and the Disney film he's talking about there was in Lightyear, that movie, which came out a few years ago,
Mhm.
2022.
Yeah,
Um,
it was like having this conversation now about a 3-year-old movie.
yeah, exactly. I guess he must have just saw it, I guess, or maybe he was just retelling his emotions. I guess it stuck with him that much that Lightyear movie 3 years later, even though that movie's forgettable as fuck, I don't even remember what the fuck happened in that movie. I was like, whoa, okay. But I do know the scene he's talking about because in the movie there, and that there was a controversy even when before this movie came out, they were talking about the fact that there would be a same-sex couple in it. Um, and they
Yeah,
made it a
in it,
bigger
who
thing.
only one of the characters in that same-sex couple gets any dialogue.
Only one of them get any dialogue, and there's only I think one or two scenes with them actually together. There's this one scene where you actually see them together and kiss, and that's it.
It's like
And
a split second.
yeah, like they people tried to hype it up as like, oh my god, they're having it's like goddamn, they thought it was the first
Pixar's
episode of
turning the kids gay!
you think it was the first episode of Peacemaker, like it's a bi orgy going on or some shit. Like, bro, it's this one scene and it's a blink and you miss it shit. Like you look down at your popcorn and you look back up, the scene is gone. But yeah.
Yeah, you would
Uh
have thought that they were teaching kids, 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink in theaters.
yeah, so it wasn't anything big there or kind of going on, but yes, it's a lesbian couple and they have a child. This is what Snoop Dogg said. So I'm gonna play the clip of what
Okay.
he said there.
With a woman. Well, my grandson in the middle of the movie, like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, I didn't come in for I just came to watch the goddamn movie. Hey, man, watch the movie. They just said she had a baby. They both women. How did she have a baby?
So Jamaica.
So that's what he said there.
Hey, hey, you gotta, embrace your kids' curiosity. It was like, yeah, so here's how. So, all right, whatever.
Mm.
It was
And
like
it's
even he doesn't seem all that perturbed by it.
yeah. I mean, it just seems like it seems like it's not that hard of a explanation. It's like, okay, they're together, they adopted a kid, or I don't know. I don't think they give too much
No,
detailed
they didn't
explanation.
give any detail as to how they have a kid at all.
Yeah, so I don't know if it was IVF or something like that they did, or anything, or they had a surrogate or something like that. So I don't know exactly like which one was the you know pregnant, or maybe they did that.
I don't
So
know, just tell him a fucking stork tell him a stork delivered the baby.
yeah, you tell them that. Yeah. show them that movie Storks. Yeah, show them that movie. There. But yeah, so so it brings up kind of questions there about this and about LGBT kind of couples in movies. You had some people who, of course, was against Snoop Dogg, and then of course people who defended him. Some of the people who
Mhm.
defend him was people over at the Breakfast Club, which is a big radio show there. So this is what some of them had to say. They reported on that as well. So this article explains more of what Snoop Dogg said other than in the clip there. And then so he said Snoop Dogg explained on Sarah Fontenette's podcast is Giving last week. He took his grand to see Pixar's Lightyear, which features the same-sex couple there, and we brought that clip there of his grandson talking about it there, and just the questions that were raised after this. And so the Breakfast Club there, they defended his remarks, saying, I wouldn't have explained right then and there in the movie.
Mhm.
Comedian Just Hilarious said, but if my kid had a question, I would tell him, well, we know two women can't make a baby, two men can't make a baby, but these days things are different. Cole's DJ Envy stressed that cartoons should not force parents to into premature conversation about sex or relationships. I'm with Snoop. I don't want to have to explain any of this in a cartoon or a movie. I'm taking my child, Envy said. So that's kind of some of the sentiment there, even though, I mean, a child might have that curiosity, even if it was just a straight couple, or a straight couple who had a kid there. Like kids will ask, like, well, how did you
Yeah,
get pregnant, or where do
it
babies
doesn't
come
yeah,
from?
it doesn't matter what, kind of thing that entertainment or any kind of media is gonna show you. Kids are naturally going to have those questions. It's like, "Daddy, where do babies come from?"
Right. So, I mean,
Yeah, they
but
were asking that before, you were claiming that Disney and, Hollywood were trying to turn your kids gay.
that's a common question that kids have, like, where do babies come from? Where did
Mhm.
I come from? And then, it's your choice if you want to dance around it until you think like, okay, maybe I'm going to wait until they're a little bit older until they have that conversation. Or it's your choice if you want to do it, if you think you want to kind of give the basic childlike version of what you want to do. I mean, that's kind of up to you how you kind of want to answer that question. But I mean, to say that, I was like, I don't want to be forcing this conversation, and all these movies are indoctrinating my kids and bringing all these serious
Mhm.
subjects there. I mean, that's what kind of some of these movies do when you watch these movies, especially when you have Pixar movies. Like, I remember there was conversation with people talking about the movie Up, where it's like death. I mean, that's a big theme of that movie. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, are you and mommy gonna die?
Yeah,
Like,
but
is that
nobody
gonna
was
be,
up in arms in there about that movie.
that's a very serious subject, death, and what happens
Mhm.
kind of after that in life moving on. Like, what do you do? And that was a very serious subject there that you had in that movie. So there's tons of times where you have in movies these serious kind of topics there. Even something like Inside Out that came out,
Mhm.
which kind of details, depression to a degree, high amounts of anxiety to a degree, and things like that. Again, this thing that it's indoctrinating people, or there's a certain thing you can choose to acknowledge it or face it, or not there. I mean, what's kind of your opinion there?
Yeah, it's all I feel like this whole, hullabaloo is just, you is just coming from parents not wanting to talk to their kids. It's just like not wanting them to embrace their curiosity, to just be be calm, be quiet, just enjoy the cartoons, look at the pretty images on the screens and don't think about them.
Yeah. The writer of Lightyear, she responded to
Mhm.
what Snoop ended up saying. So she said, "So I created Lightyear." This is funny. The first sentence, she's like, "I created the Lightyear lesbians." So it's kind of funny. In 2018, as I was a writer at Pixar, such a cool place. Grateful to work there. Learned a ton from kind and impressive creatives. As we wrote earlier versions of what became Lightyear, a key character needed a partner, and it was so natural to write she instead of he, as a small detail in the film. I knew the representational effect it could have. Small line, big deal. I was elated that they kept it. I'm so proud of it to infinity. Love is love there.
Mhm.
So she said that. And then she also followed there, says, I was one of a few writers they had on it for the years, which is very common for screenwriting, of course. Had very little to do with the final script, but I was proud to see a happy queer couple, even for a few seconds, and there were definitely a few seconds, emphasis on a few
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah, they put the emphasis on like a few seconds and they didn't give that character's partner any dialogue. So, it all evens out according to the mouse.
On screen. I know they got a lot of shit for this inclusion, but stuff like this matters because beautiful love like this exists. It's not fiction. What is fiction is Zurg and light speed space travel and murderous aliens and a talking robot cat. Long live socks. The cat was awesome. Cat was like the best part of the movie,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, he was.
So Pixar doesn't care. Disney doesn't care about gay people. They don't care about gay people. They don't care about really all that. I think as a corporation, as a company, they don't care.
Mhm.
Do the individuals that work at that corporation probably care?
Yeah, of
Like the
course.
writer of that? Yes, I believe they do, and they try to figure out a way to implement that into the stories there to have some type of representation, which I do think is important. But having a scene like that, keeping it doesn't really do much because it's like her partner isn't really a character,
Mhm.
and she's in a brief scene, so they could cut it out when they show the movie in other countries that they don't allow that, so it's easily cut out scene that you can do.
Mhm.
So they try to do both things of like, hey, we're LGBTQ friendly. Look, we have a queer couple in it, but also we'll take that queer couple out and
It's
when we
like
show
that
it overseas.
it's like that meme of, I think it was at a Tyler, the Creator concert. It's like companies on, July 30 for June 31st. It's like, "I'm a fucking homosexual." No, I'm not.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, yeah, those type of memes. Like when it's Pride Month, companies like got all the Pride shit rolled out, but then when it's not Pride Month, other companies like, okay, you gays can go away now. We don't need you. That's all right. We already got all the rainbow shit, all that shit already out. That's fine. So I mean, that's kind of what it is. And like I say, I mean, and things like this, I'm trying to think of like what's a big prominent kind of LGBT couple in an animated film. I'm trying to think of one that was worked really well there. I should have probably already had this there. Um,
Yeah, this would have been, nice to know ahead of time. Uh, Korra and Asami from Legend of Korra, but that's, like, at the very end of that show.
That was the very end of that show there. There was that one. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of like a really, really kind of good one. But that's a good one, Legend of Korra, but that didn't happen till like towards the end of it. That they do that one. I'm trying to think of another one. Oh, Harley Quinn, but that's a TV show. They do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, but that's an adult animated TV show.
True, it is adult animated TV show. You do have that. Adventure Time. Didn't they do it with Adventure Time? I believe they did
I
it.
think Yeah, I
Uh,
think so.
They did it with Adventure Time, I believe. So there are some examples of it. I'm trying to think of these are mostly TV shows. I'm trying to think of like a movie example that's probably
I
pretty
think
good there.
Mitchell's versus the Machine, they, basically just dropped at the very end that Katie Mitchell was gay at the very end of it,
Mm,
which,
yeah.
if you didn't figure that out by then I don't know what movie you were watching.
um, Arcane, that's another TV show that was really well handled, really well
But
there.
that's
I don't know if
also I
you,
think Arcane also gears a little more adult.
okay, that's a little more adult. Like I think because bring back to Adventure Time, I think the vampire, the girl that was the vampire,
Mm,
I think she was lesbian in that one. But yeah, I mean, you start seeing more and more in kind of animated things kind of popping up, and then also you do have shows there with children there also or young adults, teenagers. There's more LGBTQ couples there as well that's starting to pop up. I mean, it's just kinda the way it's representing life
mhm,
and the way kinda things are there, and to say that LGBT couples, I think the instance is that, well, this is inherently it's like, why are you showing sexual stuff to kids? Or if you think the LGBT couple's sexual, then you also have to think the straight couples is sexual. If you
mhm,
think their kissing is sexual, then you would also have to say that about heterosexual couples,
mhm.
as well there. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, but that's a conversation that they never wanna have. It's because it's, alien and different, they wanna have this they wanna, have this, show of clutching their pearls of, "Think of the children!"
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I mean, and also I was like, I don't know how Snoop Dogg explains his earlier life to maybe his kids or grandson. I don't know how he does that, or if his grandson ever have questions about Well, I guess he could say now, it's like, well, I started hanging out with Martha Stewart, and that's what just things just changed around for me. I was just a, a poor kid, and it was like Blindside. She just found me. Then she put me on her cooking show. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know how.
yeah, Auntie Martha put me on a cooking show, and now I'm delivered.
Yeah, I don't even know what hip hop is. I don't even listen to that. So I don't know exactly how he explains his earlier life to his grandsons and everything like that. But yeah. So that was just kind of just one thing we just saw that was just kind of wild to hear. But I mean there's better movies other than Lightyear with you could probably find with some LGBT representation. That movie Noma that was on Netflix. She was a
Mm.
lesbian in that. That was a much better movie. Watch that instead of watching Lightyear. Maybe that's why he was mad. He just saw Lightyear and just wanted to blame anything. He was like, "Man, this fucking sucks. This fucking lesbians. That's why this movie sucks." But
When really it's just, the movie Lightyear just kinda sucks.
yeah, it's just yeah. So yeah, that was our news there.